Robin.
Hello everyone, welcome to Rob's Rogues and the Batman universe, and today we're taking a look at the first action figure in my Robin series, and this is the 2004 The Dark Knight Returns Carrie Kelly Robin. Like I said, this is from the 2004 DC Direct line, not the reissue and kind of repainted touch-up paints for the 2013 like box set. I got this off of eBay, so I don't have the original box or anything like that. But what really made me want to get this figure was basically this book. This is the Batman and Robin book 19, which every month the title is going to be like this coming month right here that we're in May is going to be Batman and Red Hood. And then it's going to be Batman and Batgirl, Batman and Catwoman, and then finally Batman and Nightwing, as each of the Bat family characters are helping Batman through the grieving process of the loss of Damian. But the fold-out on this issue shows the Carrie Kelly Robin. And you kind of see her in this book. So DC Comics have brought Carrie Kelly into the New 52 and into the current Batman timeline. And it's not known yet if Carrie Kelly is going to become Robin or if she's going to serve some other purpose. Right now she's just a college student. In one panel she did wear the Robin costume, but we find out that she's at a costume party with a bunch of her friends, and you kind of see that her friends are dressed as Superman and Wonder Woman, and there's Flash, Green Lantern, and Batman, and Aquaman in the background. So I thought, well, this might be a good opportunity to pick up Carrie Kelly, and if she does, in fact, become Robin, then she's going to have a unique origin story for her. And I've kind of said this before with the Dark Knight Returns Batman Mattel review that I did. I was never a big fan of Elseworld stories or stories that took place like, well, we're going to imagine what Batman's last final adventure was. And it was kind of written in continuity when Jason Todd was dead and before Tim Drake was Robin. Or, you know, right around that line. But once Tim Drake is introduced into the Batman universe, it makes everything in the Dark Knight not canon anymore. So I have the two movies, and this is the only way that I ever actually read or watched the story. I have thought about going back and picking up the graphic novel to kind of have in my collection, and people would say, oh, it's for every Batman fan, this is a must-have in your collection. I probably will pick it up at some point. But like I said, I was never a fan of Elseworld stories, or we're going to make believe that Batman has Superman's powers. And I have a comic book like that I picked up. And it was, you know, Superman comes to Earth, but his parents are gunned down by Bruce Wayne's, like Bruce Wayne's parents were. So Superman, Clark Kent becomes Batman, yada, yada, yada. But, you know, we're looking at the Carrie Kelly Robin here. And I do like this figure quite a bit. Hopefully the camera, you can see all of this. Get some light down here on her. But a really nice figure. Now her articulation, you can see the slingshot is broke. And it wasn't broke when I bought her. I thought, oh, I can pull this back because her hand looks like you can put the slingshot part in there. Well, actually, you can't. I had her arms out like this and thought, oh, I'm going to try and pull this back, and I broke that side off. Excuse me. So I'm going to have to glue that piece back on and just know that, hey, this doesn't stretch back as far as I thought it was. So shame on me for thinking that. Would have been cool. But like I said, her articulation is limited. She does have it. Her head does go in a full 360, but she doesn't look straight on. She has that more of a whimsical, like, I wonder what Batman's doing kind of a look. So she doesn't get a full, straight, head-on profile shot. Her arms do go all the way around. They don't seem to be hindered by the cape or anything like that. both arms. But as traditional female figures go, she has the wonky, almost spread eagle leg articulation. Not total spread eagle, but she does get in some type of a weird, squatted position. I don't know if they just try and give the females just a different type of cut than a male figure. I just don't get why toy manufacturers do that for the female figures. But not like I'm going to have her sitting down anyway. No boot or pixie boot articulation, and she does have glove articulation. The cape is nice, soft plastic, softer than the DC-UC capes, which I wish they were kind of, this material, because this is nice and pliable. But, a really nice figure. And one that when I told people I didn't have the Carrie Kelly Robin, they're like, as a big Robin fan as you are, I'm surprised you don't have this version of Robin. And again, I think it was because I just wasn't really fond of The Dark Knight Returns. And don't hate me for saying that. It just wasn't on my comic book reading radar. And I know some people would say, as big as a Batman fan and a Robin fan as you are, I don't know how that you missed it. I remember being in my comic book shop when this book was coming out, but I was just reading current continuity comic books, and I thought, oh, well. And they said, well, Frank Miller wrote it. And I'm like, yeah, I know, but it wasn't for me. But having watched the 2 movies, I did really like it, and it is now something I'm thinking about going and picking up and, reading on my own. So we'll set her off to the side. She does come with another accessory, a very large accessory. It is the light or lamp post. And it comes in 2 pieces. Actually, it's more 3 pieces. But it just pegs down in there. And it's something I didn't realize until a couple days ago, that the lamppost piece is a glow-in-the-dark. Again, I didn't have the box for it, but it's a nice, bright, sunny day here, so can't really show you that it glows in the dark, but this piece does. I don't know if the re-release of this glows in the dark. I would assume that it does, but I thought that was really kind of cool. This piece I actually have setting with my Hall of Justice, so I don't necessarily have that with The Dark Knight Returns Carrie Kelly or Batman. So we'll set her back up on her lamppost here, and we'll bring up my Mattel Dark Knight Returns Batman. And I think the 2 look really good together. I was not a fan at all of the Dark Knight Returns DC Direct Batman. I thought he looked just really ugly in the face. And I think Mattel pulled this Batman off very, very well by using the buck body for the Masters of the Universe line. I think it fits with Batman's proportions as he was in the cartoon movie and in the comic book, very well. Again, I said this was a figure that I wasn't going to get unless I got the Carrie Kelly Robin. And as you've already seen in my review from Chicago, which I do have one more review that I filmed in Chicago that I've got to upload at some point. But you saw me review this one already. I said we would get a little bit more mileage out of this Batman, so you can kind of see the 2 together. But trying to get the light source on these 2 just a little bit better. So I think that these 2 work very, very, very well together. Even though they're from different companies, one being DC Direct, the other being Mattel. But I'm imagining this is how I'm going to have them on my shelf. Unless something changes, then maybe I could have the New 52 Batman with Carrie Kelly. Like I said, it's not known yet if the new Robin is going to be Harper Row or if it's going to be Carrie Kelly, or does Tim Drake go back to being Robin again, or does Damian somehow come back from the dead? Who knows? It's going to be an interesting about 5 or 6 months to kind of see what happens with the Robin character in DC Comics. Speaking of Robin, we could get a little bit of a size comparison between the DC Collectibles Robin and Carrie Kelly, since we find out in the comic book that Carrie Kelly and Damian knew each other. So that's going to be kind of interesting as the story goes along, is the extent of their, I would say, relationship, because she's supposed to be 20-something and Damian was, of course, 10. You know, obviously this figure was made a lot earlier than this figure was. But we don't know if it's they were both music lovers or they were teaching each other martial arts or whatever it is. Their relationship is not known at this time. But kind of want to be able to show you those two. And I got to tell you that the Carrie Kelly Robin does look pretty good next to the New 52 Batman. Put his hand on her shoulder there. So, yeah, that'll be interesting to see how their relationship, if it does grow, if it's just a passing thing in the comics. But let's get this Batman out, and let's bring up this Batman. There we go. So today we've been taking a look at the Dark Knight Returns Carrie Kelly Robin from DC Direct, and this is from the original 2004 release of the figures. Stay tuned. We've got more coming in my Robin special right up after this, unless I sneak another video in there. But for me, I'm going to film the next figure review. So, as always, this is Rob for Rob's Rogues and the Batman Universe signing off, saying we will see you guys next time.